Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the January release blog hop with Waffle Flower, and I have a couple of projects to share with you featuring some of these gorgeous new hot foil plates along with a delicious new stencil. I'm going to start with this new hot foil plate. It is called the Triple Line Diamond Foil Plate, and I laid this down on my foiling machine. I've got some gold foil. I'm using some Hammermill white cardstock, and then I ended up putting 2 extra sheets of white cardstock to create a bit of a shim, give it a little more pressure. You just got to play around with it. Sometimes if it doesn't foil, you might need some extra added cardstock. Sometimes it can overfoil, which is like what I have here, so I might have had too much pressure. But the nice thing about overfoiling is that you can, most of the time, kind of erase that extra overfoiling. I'm just using my adhesive eraser, and it kind of got most of it off. And I knew I was going to trim down this panel anyway, so a lot of that excess around the edges was going to get cropped off. So I'm taking this on my paper trimmer. I like to crop it down 3.5 wide by 4 3/4 tall. And then here's a delicious new stencil, which is called the 2-step diamond stencil. And I love it because it works beautifully with that hot foil plate. You can create your own plaid patterns with the foiling. And I'm going to use a combination. For this card here, I'm using Pinkfresh Studio inks. These first 2 colors are orange and yellow. They're apricot and lemon whip. So I'm going to do all along the bottom left corner, that apricot, kind of fading it up. And then I will transition into the yellow, which is the lemon whip. So we're fading orange to yellow. And when you lift off the stencil, you will see how beautiful it looks with the gold foiling. It's like just a great plaid pattern coming together. And you really can do as much or as little as you want. You could stop right there. I think it looks great. But I cleaned off the stencil, and what I did is I flipped it over so that the diagonal stripes are going the opposite direction. This time I'm using warm tones, Coral Reef, and Sparkling Rose. So I start down there in the corner with that Coral Reef, which is kind of a red coral color. And I sped this up a little bit because sometimes you got to really build up the intensity. You got to start light, build it up heavy, and then I'll transition into that Sparkling Rose and try to get a nice smooth from the red into the pink. And oh gosh, this would be great for Valentine's, but I'm not even making a Valentine's card, but I'm just saying these colors tickle my fancy. There you have a plaid pattern with gold foil. Now I'm going to pop this up on a white card base. So since I trimmed that down, you have a great white border there. Now for a sentiment, I'm pulling out an older one. I'm just going to make a simple thank you card. I use the thank you stamp set, and then I'll do the coordinating die. I just did black on white. I didn't want to compete too much with that plaid, keeping it simple. And then a few little coordinating colors of gold and pink sequins. And I mean, if gold and pink ain't your jam, imagine the different color combinations. You can do blues, rainbow. You can do different colors of foil. I'm moving on to card number 2. This is another new hot foil plate. It's called the Oversized Hello. I love a hot foil jumbo sentiment. Fantastic. Again, Hammermill cardstock, gold foil. I did have to play around. I had to do this one a couple times to find the right pressure, but it ended up foiling like butter. I'm going back to that, what's it called, 2-step diamond stencil. Again, I can't get enough of it. In fact, I don't think I'll ever get enough of it. Now, I'm using distress inks on this one. I lined them all up, and then I stopped recording. So you could see my first pass there with the pinks, reds, and oranges and yellow. Now I flipped the stencil over, and this time I'm going in with the greens and the blues. I apologize. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys ever do this, but sometimes I press record when I don't need to be taping, and then I stop the recording when I do need to be taping. I get it flippy floppy, and that really chaps your khakis, let me tell you. So now you don't have that footage, and you can't get it back. Card's already made. Didn't know it until after I started editing, but hey, you get the idea. Now for this one here, which is really lighting my fire, I did each stripe a different color. And you know I'm going in rainbow order. It's a rainbow plaid, which just shoots me right straight to the heavens above. I mean, when I take this off, I about drop to the floor, okay? That's where I'm at. And with that gold foiled oversized hello, it's like bada boom, bada bing. Okay, that's the only adjectives I could come up with. That's how much I love it. So 8 different shades of Distress inks, which blend like butter. I am using some of the Waffle Flower blending brushes, by the way, which I love. Now, look at this. I got one question for you. Did you have socks on when you started the video? Because if you did, they're probably not on anymore because they probably got knocked off when I peeled off that stencil. I mean, this plaid and this foiled hello gets me out of the bed in the morning, period. Clap, exclamation point. Might be my favorite card I've ever made, if I'm being honest. I don't know, something about that plaid. It just gets me. It just brings me joy. It just gives me the warm fuzzies. Does it you too? I hope we're in this together. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure and check out the rest of the Waffle Flower January release blog hop. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.